This is roughly a map of Asia around the year 1370. And this is Tamerlane, a man who rose up and created one of the top 20 biggest empires in history, and was responsible for the deaths of 17 million people, constituting a staggering 4.59% of the world population at that time. So let's speedrun Tamerlane's conquests. The most important territories here are Georgia, you will see why here in a minute, and Transoxania. Here, after a successful rebellion, Tamerlane took control over the region, and now it was time for him to expand. And expand he did. First he went here, then down here, then turned left here. I feel like a GPS right now. Then he returned home, only to come back even stronger and invaded Georgia. After that, he went south and took some more territory. Gotta collect them all. He then went east and killed the main guy there. Then this guy from the Golden Horde gave him trouble, so Tamerlane smacked him. Tamerlane then went further south, then up north to Georgia, which he invaded again, then beat the main guy from the Golden Horde a second time. He then set his eyes on Delhi, which he invaded, plundered, and took some elephants with him. Now, it's worth noting that Tamerlane wasn't the only one doing the conquering, while all the others were doing nothing, waiting like an NPC to be invaded. That being said, while Tamerlane was in Delhi, the west now looked like this. The Ottomans got bigger. Seeing this, Tamerlane marched towards the Ottoman Empire. Until his arrival though, Bayezid had nothing to do, so he sieged Constantinople. Tamerlane also had nothing to do when he reached there, so he raided Georgia, then he took some territory from the Ottoman Empire. Seeing this, Bayezid had to show up. Until then, Tamerlane took some more territory down here. By that time, Bayezid showed up and took back the lost territory. Now it was time for the showdown. But how do you start an epic battle that will decide the future of your entire empire? Well, by trash talking, of course. Tamerlane and Bayezid engaged in a series of letters in which they called themselves names and insulted each other, like Tamerlane comparing Bayezid to an ant, Bayezid calling Tamerlane a dog multiple times, and many others. Think of a Twitter argument or a game lobby today. The funniest one I've found is a letter from Bayezid to Tamerlane in which he wrote, "Now, if you do not come here, may your wives be irreversibly divorced from you. But if head out to my country, and I run away from you and do not meet you in battle, then of course, may my wives be irreversibly divorced." These guys were age 64 and 40 at that time. Men never really grow up, I suppose. But now it was time for war. So what did these two do after this heated exchange of letters? Well, Bayezid sieged Constantinople and Tamerlane raided Georgia. I swear, I'm not making this up. But at last, the battle began, battle which Tamerlane won, taking control over modern-day Turkey. After the battle though, his grandson and successor fell ill and died. Tamerlane was devastated by this, and so he raided Georgia for one last time. By 1405 he prepared for his biggest campaign yet, the invasion of the Ming dynasty in China. On his way there, however, he fell ill and died, age 68, and his empire quickly dissolved afterwards. This was the massive oversimplification of Tamerlane's conquests. Next up, I'm going to speedrun World War I, I'm hoping for a sub 5. Before that though, here's a fun fact, Tamerlane's curse. A curse inflicted upon the Soviet Union and Stalin, as on June 20, 1941, a team of Soviet scientists opened Tamerlane's tomb. Inside they found an inscription that read, "Whosoever disturbs my tomb will unleash an invader more terrible than I." Now, can you think of an invader more terrible than this guy?